live now.
Yay!
Yeah, I went live with
forgot
this.
I was a.
Let's see if I can.
Forgot you were what, sorry?
I forgot I was a potato wearing a dirndl. Because why would I not be?
I like that. Spud found 2D's head and has been wearing it ever since.
Goddamn
And
right.
I still need to get that collab to happen at some point. We either gotta get 2D to stream early or Spud to stay up really late.
It's not been unheard of. It's not been unheard of.
I think 2D streams at like 2 a.m. your time. Normally.
Honestly, it's doable. I
Oh,
need to take some time off
man.
work. There was a little while ago,
Hi, everyone.
probably about a year and a half ago or so.
Uh-huh.
I was off work for a week or a bit, and it just so happened that there was a big update for the Division 2, and some of my friends from the States were playing it, and I was like, oh, I can be around. We can shenanigans. And I'm like, seriously? It's gonna be like 3 a.m. for you. It's like, yeah, it'd be fine. First time I made the mistake of staying up late and staying up to play instead of doing the smart thing, which was just waking up really early.
It's fun, isn't
yeah, that
it?
was good fun. So, you know.
Nice. Well, one of these days we're gonna have to get you to join in on one of the Thursday night late night streams. Do
Definitely.
the double potato run. We'll do the big potato mod. We'll just make it a potato themed night. It'll be great.
Hell yeah.
There we go. Share chat is enabled.
Yay!
Yay! Now I gotta load up my chat so I can see it. Hello, chat.
Yeah, your chat hasn't appeared.
Oh yeah, I don't see it there yet. I did do the knock knock though, but I don't see you in the little window.
It does say on my end, share chat is. Wait a minute.
You might need to send a knock knock again.
Yeah, you might need to.
Yeah, time to
knock on my.
Knock knock again.
Yeah, knock on my door again.
Cancel. And knock. Knock.
Oh, see, now it just tells me Monica's canceled their request to join.
I did do that.
But the new one hasn't.
There should be another one, and then you can accept that.
Failed to accept invite.
If it's giving you trouble, I had to do this the other day with somebody. If it's giving you trouble, go into your dashboard, I think. Where is it?
Oh, I might have. Do I have knocks off?
I don't think so, because I was able to send the request. Here we go. Yeah, so if you go into your stream manager, you can hit the little people with the plus icon, the stream together.
Do you see me now?
Oh yeah, you're there now. Beautiful. Perfect.
Yeah, I had to accept it a different way.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I only had done it that way one other time, so I was like, how do I do this again? Alright, cool. Everybody's here now. Hi, friends.
Yippee.
Woo! Alright, I think I have visits set up, but let me just double check it real quick. Everyone can visit. Everyone can order. Do we want to do polls? Do we want to do chat polls?
I mean, we normally do, and it's never gone badly for us, ever.
Yeah, never, ever. Okay, cool, awesome.
Hi, chat. I'm eating lunch.
So nice and friendly towards us.
I want to say we were doing this toast restaurant, but we could just start a new one.
I mean,
because Trip wasn't there, so it's kind of like I don't.
I've also not played up in like 6. I've not played Play Up in like 6 months.
We'll take it easy, but maybe we do an autumn run. Cook some foods, you know.
I like to cook foods.
All right, Trip, you pick. Come here. There's a bunch of like modded foods in there.
And, yeah.
Pick whatever you want.
Let's see. Ooh, there are many options. Do we want a modded option or a vanilla option?
Modded ones are fun, but you could pick whatever you want because we'll get a bunch of food card choices in the run.
I kind of want to try. How hard is sushi?
Sushi is difficult, but that's okay.
I can't actually tell what this one is. It looks like two turrets from Portal.
Portal.
Oh, that's
Oh,
yeah,
that's
that's
brew.
homebrew.
Yeah, that's beer.
Yeah.
We run our own brewery.
That seems very complicated.
It went fairly well last time.
Yeah, the homebrew was fun.
Oh, you know what?
Hey, Buzzam.
Boba tea.
Boba! I like the
Boba.
boba.
Also
Let's do it,
hyper.
let's do it.
Boba.
Here.
Alright, let's do it. Let's make some boba tea. You know, fun fact, I've never had boba tea.
I've had it exactly
Every
once.
time I hear it.
It was okay. It wasn't great, but it was okay.
Sounds like you haven't had the right flavor of boba yet.
It was the texture experience of the little boba balls was really odd.
Some people like the
y'all are arms. I forgot about that mod.
some people like the tapioca pearls, and some people prefer like the popping boba, the like fruitier one.
Yeah, I had the fruitier. They were like almost kind of like triangles.
Oh.
It was alright.
Okay, so this is the
How do I become
machine.
Claw?
Hold down K if you're on keyboard. It's your ping button.
I'm holding down
Boba
K and
Pulsed.
I'm not becoming... Oh, L is my ping button. There we go.
Oh.
There you go.
Whee.
I thought it was K. It might be
Add
L.
boba pulse to
I
water in a
hit
pot.
buttons. I hit buttons without thinking about it. Alright, who wants to
Uh,
actually make the boba?
Great question.
And who
Nah,
wants to
nope.
get together?
It's got
Alright,
way too
one
many
of you
steps
need
for
to
me.
come back here.
I
I'll
will...
cook the tapioca pearls, but someone needs to actually make the drink.
Sure. Just tell me what to do and I can...
Okay.
How do I descend? It's been so long.
Same thing backwards. You just hold down the elbow.
There we go.
Alright, I don't... Do I need this? Let me double check. I haven't done this in a minute. Where's my recipes? Yeah, and water. Okay. Pearls, water,
Is your head a diglet?
No, it's a potato.
It looks like a diglet.
I'm not sure if I should be offended on the behalf of diglets or potatoes.
Just
This is
accept the
mean.
compliment. Diglets are cute.
It's true, they are.
Diglet dig, diglet dig.
Oh. Spud's gonna have to do research.
Oh no. Okay.
So how does...
Alright, I'm a nerd in real life.
I'm gonna make you the boba pearls, the tapioca pearls here.
Okay.
And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a cup and you're gonna put whatever type of tea they want in the cup, and then milk, and then the pearls.
So I probably need to be elsewhere so I can actually access it from all three, or is it like a button I click like
It's a
ice cream?
button. So you use your interact
Okay.
button to switch between the three, and then you place the cup, and then you hold interact for it.
Got it.
So like when a cup's placed, you can't switch flavors. Basically.
Understood. All right. We ready to ball?
Let's do this. I
Get
believe.
it? We ready to ball?
I'm so ready.
Tapioca balls. We're gonna get a couple
Maximum
right.
chaos.
Alright, what do they want, Spud?
this
Taro,
guy
you're on
wants
the right
pop.
one. Perfect.
Oh,
There we go.
Thank you.
And then add pearls and milk.
oh, and milk. Where's milk?
Down here. There you go.
Boom.
And that's Spud.
Boba.
Alright, what's next? Black tea.
Black.
Oh.
That one.
Given the fact yeah, I probably should have thought about the blindness aspect of doing this.
You're doing great. That's why I'm here
You
to
got
help.
this. I
Alright, one green,
need
one purple.
purple and green. And 2 black.
Oh. Green. You want green?
But yeah, oh, you said 2 black. Oh, the other 2.
Yeah,
that's
I need
next.
those too,
Yeah, that's...
but-
Oh, that's
ooh.
purple.
Yep, that's okay. There we go. I can help with this, actually. So there's a cup full of black tea there.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, it's there. Yeah, you got it. You got it.
It's very hard to tell if there's a cup in there or not.
It is. It definitely is.
Black and green.
Hey, those are my
I guess
colors.
the green is matcha, but
Also, I'm realizing you're calling black what to me looks very brown.
Yeah, it kind of is. But it's
I do
all
have
black
colorblind
tea.
mode on as well, which is why I'm saying black.
I need to re-enable colorblind mode because it's not on for me.
It does help.
Accessibility, colorblind.
It was so
is
helpful
on.
while doing
Sushi.
tacos.
Oh, and tacos.
There we go.
Hello? Testing?
Oh,
Hi.
Welcome to the party.
I am
Welcome.
so sorry about that.
That was a
Oh,
mess of a run, but hey, I've not played up in like 6 months. I'm getting
Relax,
myself a
welcome
pass
in.
on being inept.
Look at this.
Thank you. Oh yeah, it's past the time. Oh, that is a healthy amount of
I'll
Parmesan.
hold this for tomorrow. All right.
Delicious, delicious. How you doing,
Are
chat?
you wanting to go outside now that Lex is joining?
By the way, I am recording this as well as streaming it. I might try and chop it up into nice, funny little bits. We'll see.
Ooh, I love.
Quote unquote funny.
Hey, we're pretty funny.
Kidding. I'm kidding.
That was more an insult to yourself than anything else.
I know, and Lex is
yeah,
like the funniest one of us all.
Yeah.
I thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
It's just true.
There we go.
Hold on, I gotta get a Lex stream up.
I need to get there. There was the game. Thank you. That took forever. Hello.
Nova, why are you being annoying, my cat?
Wait, is your cat's name Boba?
Nova,
Oh, I was like, oh, that's awkward.
right? That'd be funny.
Serving cat. Though I do watch a streamer who has a cat named Boba.
I love that.
It's a very cute cat, and it's got like little spots that look like boba balls. Now all I'm imagining is like that cat in a big cup.
Oh, I like that idea. That sounds really cute. That sounds like a good like photo opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, that did it. Look at that.
Can't remember how to pick up people as the claw. I was gonna do it for a bit, but I can't remember how to do it.
You can pick up people with the claw since when?
Knock knock.
I don't know. I feel like I've seen it done.
One moment.
I think there's a
sorry about
mod
it.
for it. No, you're good.
Yeah, I do agree with my chat that that would be an amazing boba tea place logo.
Ooh. Could you imagine
Right.
if you did like a boba cafe and a cat cafe?
A
That would
boba
be so
cat
perfect.
cafe would be so good.
Yes.
And because boba's sealed from the top, you don't have the like you're not gonna get cat hair in the boba.
I was
Yeah.
about to say, like, there is something in boba, and then I was like, oh my god, there's gonna be like cat hair in that too now. Oh my god.
It's a perfect business plan. Cut the stream. Cut the stream.
Time to go start a business.
Gotta file a patent real quick.
No one copyright that. I said it first.
I mean, there's a cafe that's up for sale in my town right now. So you know, if I make the
Ah.
first boba cat cafe, then I will give you guys an honorable mention.
Oh. Perfect, perfect. It's okay, we can have an EU branch and an NA branch. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, get the investors on the line. We'll call up Alistair as well, because, you know, I guess he's now going to want part of the cut too.
The demon?
Oh, maybe. Good call, good call.
Wait, I'm sorry. Is there an Alistair in the group? I don't know.
Alistair's
or-
the guy who made Play-Doh.
Oh! Got it. Got it. I was like, I'm sorry, the demon? That's your investor of choice?
Yes, yes, yes. It logically
Why
makes
not?
the most sense.
I mean, it does
Why
track.
not?
That's funny. And all
I'm not-
all my time I've spent in the Yoggcast Games community, Alistair's like the only person I've not met.
That's
So
funny.
I just forgot about his existence there briefly.
No worries.
I mean, calling him a demon seems pretty fitting, though, given what he did to the whole pasta recipe.
Burn. Jesus.
Now that we've got 3, do you want me to go on tableside?
That's
or...
up to you. Someone else should definitely go help Spud, but it doesn't matter who it is.
Whee!
I'll gladly help.
Oh.
Oh, never mind.
It was overwhelming
Okay.
me due to my
You wanna make
inability
the
to see the
boba?
little colors.
Yeah, the full cups are definitely easier to tell which is which,
Yes.
I think. They're a
Oh
little
no.
bigger.
I
With-
didn't. Okay, so. Oh god.
Yeah,
You
with
didn't
my
study for this test? Oh, man.
with my diplopia, the like the little
Cucumber
color change thing, it is
It's not very
inscrutable.
good.
I
Yeah.
can't really tell what it is.
No, that's fair. That's the only problem with modded foods is that they don't take accessibility as much into account as we do for the vanilla game. But
You'd be...
you know,
Okay.
still adds variety, which is fuel.
Oh, I was gonna come do research, and I realized the research is in a thingy.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still pretend to
Purple.
research it.
A couple one.
Purple.
Gotta do this part first.
Of course, of course.
Might...
So put it in the machine here.
Wait. Sorry.
Yeah, that one. No, you're okay. There you go. And then put some boba pearls in it, and it should be good.
Ah, there we go. I'll learn.
Purple. Green and a black.
Black and matcha.
Matcha.
We'll grab it out. There you go. I made the green one already.
Oh, wait, this person
Oh,
wants...
that's
Oh, it's a
50.
different... Oh, they got reserved. Okay, I was
Yeah,
like, wait a minute.
Awesome.
Milk, I think it needs milk.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Me. There we go. Sorry.
You good?
Green.
I didn't work. I was not doing this the last time.
You're good.
You're good. You were making the boba pearls. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agree. One of each. I'll wait to serve this until we got the purple.
Alright.
2 purple, 1 green, 1 normie.
Can't help but wonder how these people make such a mess with their matcha, you know?
Oh,
It's
I've
the same thing with tea, right?
having
Oh,
been in a
poor
boba place, I can see it. The boba
the
place I
green
went
one's in
into,
there. Oh, right.
there was just boba pearl all over the bottom of like the feet of one of the tables.
Oh, yeah.
I guess they just spilled their boba tea pearls out as they were leaving and left them.
Gross.
Ah.
Isn't the point of like you eat them? Like I will say I don't drink. I don't drink. boba
Yeah,
myself, but
they're
it's the whole point of it.
tapioca.
Yeah.
Well, this was the place I was mentioning that has like the 8 traditional boba balls, so where they're like
Right.
Oh, the jelly
trying-
ones, yeah.
yeah, they're like jellied fruit.
That
I like
sound-
them
that does
much
sound
better.
Good, though.
It was pretty good. It like the tea itself wasn't for me.
Mm.
But I understand why people liked the place so much.
There we go. Way more tables.
Oh.
We now have 2 research desks in here.
Yes, we do.
There we go.
Are we waiting for a 3rd research desk to research these research desks?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
All
I
the
want to be
research
sure.
tests.
I want to make sure I was connecting. Oh,
Yeah.
excuse me. Connecting
the
with
math
the
is
strategy.
mathing trip. You're doing great.
It's been a while.
No,
Coming-
that's good.
Coming back to streaming after a hiatus was the strangest like relearning experience.
It always is, and it's even if you just go on vacation or something like that.
I'm actually I was supposed to go on vacation next week, but it got canceled because the person I was staying with got unexpectedly called out of the country.
Oh, that's
So,
unfortunate. I hope
yeah.
it was not too bad.
No, it was a good thing, but
Oh, good.
yeah.
I'm just like, when you're unexpectedly called out of the country, it's usually not great, but I'm
Yeah.
glad it was.
It was like, hey, this thing you've been waiting on forever is ready.
Oh,
Nice.
But it means I'm going to be stuck at my college campus by myself for a week. With everything closed.
That is
Yay.
unfortunate.
It means lots of time to stream,
Party!
though. Yeah.
True.
God is party!
I have no one to party with, unfortunately.
Everyone left you.
Yeah.
That's so sad. That's when you just have your own party.
I mean, to me, streaming's my own party, so that's basically what I'll be doing.
Hey, there you go.
Oh god, Nightbot jump scare. I have Nightbot banned in my chat because of a bit from a long time ago.
Oh, good. Well, they're headlining from my chat, so.
Yes, yes, yes.
No, I still think there's something shifty going on about Nightbot.
Yeah,
I don't drop them.
I had a Nightbot malfunction where it just kept talking.
No.
It just kept saying different randomized messages I didn't have enabled.
Oh. It had
This was
a mind
like-
of its own.
Yeah, this was like 2 years ago. It was before I was even a Phil, so like 3 years ago. So,
Alright,
chat.
chat, vote.
Yes.
Type exclamation point vote 1 or exclamation point vote 2 for either mac and cheese or tomato soup. This is the make it yourself mac and cheese too, not the box mac and cheese.
I don't see how mac and cheese is a side dish to boba tea. Surely the boba tea is the side dish to the mac and cheese.
No, it's a
Yeah.
beverage. It's a completely separate category, you know?
Also, could you imagine if you went to a restaurant and they served boxed mac and cheese?
There are places like that, sadly.
Yeah. A lot of kids' menus are boxed mac and cheese. I think.
Yeah.
Oh, I
It's
know,
the
but
same
like...
thing with the what do they call the nuggets?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, no one wanted to vote, guys. Now we have to choose.
Oh no.
I
you
think
just-
mac and cheese is more fun than
Isn't
tomato soup.
yeah, it has more portions in that, right?
Yeah.
Mhm. Alright, so I'm gonna put
Hey,
this
research desk.
here,
Research shenanigans can begin.
here. Yeah. This is macaroni, and then butter, and then cheese.
So research desk in the middle of the two things with research desks in them, correct?
Put pasta and water in a pot. They
Mhm.
cook.
Alright, cool.
And grated cheese and slice
Ba-ba.
water and milk, then cook again. Okay, that's easy.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Alright, let me just stop it.
Oh, I have to cut the cheese though. Ha!
That's cool.
Pasta, water,
I'm enjoying my baked potato.
grated cheese, slice of butter, and the milk, which you have. I'm just like, maybe we should put the milk
In
down
the middle, yeah.
here. Yeah, just so we could both reach it.
Mhm.
Right, I feel good.
Oh, we're changing the name.
Taboo tapioca.
Oh, perfect.
Oh.
Oh, taboo. Alright. Oh, I forgot the water. There we go.
Grated
Mm.
cheese. Will it always be
And
a slice of butter? Oh, perfect. Okay. And milk, right?
Milk. Yeah, there you go. Did it.
Alright, one of each boba tea.
Pick it up.
I'm gonna wait for the purple one to be ready. Boom.
There you go.
Hell
okay.
yeah.
No
Oh,
one
then
wanted
we
any mac and cheese.
can-
What the fuck?
We can aim for the middle tables then for avoiding the mac and cheese.
Green and match, please.
Boop, boop,
You guys could ring a little bit too if you want.
boop.
Ring a ding ding.
Ring a ding ding.
Alright, I was finishing my pasta. I'm here now, guys. I'm in. I'm locked in.
You're locked in.
Let's go.
I'm very slowly eating my baked potato. One cheese, one purple, one matcha.
Oh, that was me. There you go. No, not
I now see why you were calling it black, because the lids are black.
Mm-hmm.
Fine, it says BL if you've got colorblind mode.
Yeah, I didn't know what the B stood for. A purple and a green. Two purple.
Ooh, purple.
Purple.
Wait for the boba to cook. I should have put an extra cooker here. I'll fix that tomorrow.
Don't
Oh,
worry,
no,
I made
now I
sure
have
to do.
hiccups.
I did the research.
Nice.
Yep.
I can't see
We
what
got
they
a copy
became.
desk.
Yay!
One-
I can tell the one is a copy desk. The other one,
Yeah,
I
we get a
can't
copy
tell.
desk and a discount by the
Is it
looks of it.
discount?
Yeah.
I can never tell the difference between discount and blueprint when they're in there. But copy is
It
like
could be blueprint.
oh, it is
Discount!
so we want to upgrade that, or no, we want to copy that but not upgrade that.
I'm
And
just gonna let the
then-
disembodied claw tell me what to do.
Yeah, it's generally the rule of thumb.
I guess we work towards metal tables so we don't have to serve the sides.
Smart, smart.
And then I'm gonna put this up here. I might grab another upgraded hob. Alright, I'm like debating grabbing this just in case.
Oh, for the
We
cheese?
got plenty
Like,
of money.
Yeah, we're rolling.
Oh.
I think that's a metal table.
Awesome.
It is.
Yippee! Mac and cheese and double purple. I've got a call. Do we want to call?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, go for it. I've learned from the many weeks of playing with Monica that if you have to ask if you're calling, you should already be calling.
Understood.
Monica is a psychopath.
2 black and
Yeah.
a green.
That's too true.
Oh my god, pick it up, thank you.
Nice, nice. 2 purple and a black.
Couple. Yep. I mean, there's also the infamous time when Monica was like, "Yeah, we can totally ring this many people," and then we gamed over immediately.
Yeah.
pro
I
play.
get a little trigger happy with the phone.
She didn't
okay?
want that dish, man. That's why. She didn't want to do whatever dish you were doing.
She's so real for that, though.
Thank you.
Come on. There you go. 2 green.
Greenies.
Also, I'm so sorry. My voice did that, like...
One.
One of the things about my tism is sometimes my voice accidentally sounds super condescending when I'm trying to sound gentle.
I do the same thing. I get very blunt, and I'm like, no, I'm just saying things.
I was like, oh, there you go. But the way it came out was like, oh, there you go. Like, no trip.
Formal is really good for big groups, which is what we are going to have. So
Yeah,
I think we
Formal
go for
boba. I love
that.
it.
Formal boba.
Oh my god,
Perfect.
we need this.
Puppy. 3 puppy. Many dog.
All the puppies.
I would love a mod that reskins like the brand mascots to be something like silly and cuter.
So now we want to only upgrade this one. There we go. And then we gotta put this table. Cool.
I'm standing in the corner while I eat that potato.
We want to decorate it all.
Decorations. Ew.
It's a nice carpet in the kitchen. Maybe?
Formal, yeah, formal. Broken ass floor.
Perfect.
Sorry, I was tactically taking time to have a little nom of my potato.
Yeah. Preparation time is a great time to have a snack.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's for, right?
Yeah.
I'm just pre-making here.
2 green,
why
a
not?
black,
Oh, 2
and
green.
yep.
There you go, and a black one.
Hell yeah. 2 green.
Of course, the only one. Oh. 2 1. 2 1. 2 green.
Alright.
Hey, we got this one already.
Yep.
Yeah.
2 green and a black.
a black one.
Got some hiccups.
I mean, you can give them the whole pot of mac
I
and cheese.
didn't
I
mean
don't think
to.
anyone would complain, right?
We need one more of these.
Oh, wrong one, green.
One more green.
Pick it up. There we go. 2 blacks.
2 black. Purple, black, mac.
Why is Mac purple and black? What did you do?
He overcooked the roast.
Fucked around and found
Don't
out.
question it.
2 purple and a black.
No, what the? No! Stop it!
You're doing great. There
Nice.
we go. You guys are doing a great job out there.
Thanks. You're doing a great job in there.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Is it just
Alright.
me? Right.
What do we
What is
get?
the thing on the left of the discount desk next to the coins? Always looks like a loaf of bread to me.
What?
Pumpkin pies or soda floats? Both desserts.
Oh no.
Soda floats are a little bit more complicated because there's 3 different types of them.
Right.
Oh god. Yeah, of course there is.
Pumpkin pies is annoying because it creates garbage.
I was about to say, but we got garbage with the pumpkin pies. Ugh. I don't
Y'all
know.
are the
I
experts.
would rather say that one. Mainly less
Alright.
worry about garbage, to be honest.
Soda floats it is.
Okay, so we need.
I mean,
As I finish
yeah,
this
no,
soda.
I pretty much universally hate pumpkin flavored pies in this.
Alright, and we gotta go up
Pumpkin pies are a
to
nightmare.
groups of 4 too. I'm gonna grab this bin for next time we get offered pumpkin pie. So you want to use the metal tables probably because we don't have to serve
Sides to them.
side. Yeah, so let's just get rid of these. How about that? And then we'll run with 2 metal tables for today.
Do we want this this other wooden? Or are we just gonna ditch
Nah,
all the
just
wooden?
toss out all the wooden ones so we don't have to serve the mac.
Oh, that was easier then.
Yeah, it's not too bad. We won't be able to ring everybody in, but that's okay. So we're gonna do probably the soda machine there. This could just go here. Yeah.
Getting in research position, adjusting my glasses. Readying my comically large calculator.
Obviously.
So I can make soda floats here and the bobas. I might not be able to help as much with this machine.
Yeah, I will do my best. I will do my best.
You got this.
We got
You know
this.
what? Let me give me this then. If you focus on.
Oh, I can still make the pearls, I think.
Oh, okay.
I just might not be able to help pour the.
Fair enough.
the
Fair enough.
tea.
Yeah. I will
Yeah,
do.
We're down to 1 tea spiller.
That button. Got
I do love how when we research together, it looks like we're playing patty cake.
it.
Oh yeah.
All green. And 3 Mac?
Yeah, but we
Don't
don't
worry
have to
about
serve
the
the
Mac.
side.
Oh. Oh, it still displays the side even though you don't need it. Oh, that's
Mhm.
terrifying.
Yeah, because you can serve it to them if you want to, for like extra
I don't know why
money.
you would ever want that though.
Money.
Manny.
That's the only reason.
Money's nice.
Do they want dessert? They do.
They
What color
do.
soda floats.
Oh,
Okay, we
God.
got 1 red,
2 green and a blue. Yeah. Colors.
2 green, and a blue. Okay.
One of each.
Yeah, we need-
Boba.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
And this guy really wants his mac and
they want
cheese.
this.
Of
Oh.
course
They want soda
dessert.
float.
What do they want?
2 blue and a green. 2 blue and a red.
Blue. Grab the one off the machine there.
I can't.
Oh, you're at a weird angle. Never mind.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Now we know.
There we go.
Alright, we need one of everything.
I might change our name now to the Double Drink Den.
Double drink.
Perfect.
2 black, a green, and a
Black,
purple.
1 green.
Oh, they didn't want dessert. Yes.
Yeah, but that means we're not getting paid.
True.
Yeah, good point.
Although we are apparently making fat stacks selling boba, so...
Yeah, we're pretty rich actually.
Our pearls must be coming out of oysters. Or clams, whatever.
Oh god.
They want milkshakes.
Yep. 3 blue and a red.
Red. And 3 blue. I like the boba soda machine combination. It's kind of fun.
It's nice.
Oh, extra cups, so I don't have to come down here to get yours.
Nice.
That's super useful.
We have blueprint desks and metal tables.
Yes, we want the blueprint desk. We can just ditch this for now. So you guys are gonna want to try to lock in a blueprint cabinet.
Yep.
And then we have another table. We probably want to try to get 2 of them near the plant here. Actually, can we get all 3 of them here? Yes, we can.
Oh, that's
You guys are gonna be squeezing through the customers a little bit, but...
It's fine. We'll bully him out of the way, it'll be fine.
Yeah. Actually.
WWE match in the restaurant. Move out
That
the
might
way!
help a bit.
Yeah, the plant won't
Yeah.
hit that one then.
Oh,
though. Just keep that in mind. It'll
Oh,
be really impatient.
Plan.
Yeah, it'll hit it there, yeah.
Perfect. It'll be fine. We'll make it work.
We got this.
Yeah.
One thing I would love for a mod to add is like a zoom button, so I can see what's on the little thingy things. 2 greens, 2 blacks.
Black.
Hell yeah.
They're gonna want ice cream, I can just feel it.
Nope.
No?
I made a call since
Rude.
they didn't want ice
Get the
cream.
hell out of here!
You've ruined the sanctity of the Double Drink Den.
Right? Who comes to a boba and soda float place and doesn't order a soda float?
I was most likely not order the boba.
Yeah, I would just
Yeah,
go for
I mean-
a great float.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's why we have options, you know?
Sorry, I enjoy pushing them out of their chairs.
They want dessert.
3
Yep.
blues and a green.
We got green.
Three black, 1 green.
I made another call.
Coolio.
It's the
Well,
Ghostbusters.
What was the call?
Ghostbusters.
Duh. Who else you gonna call?
You got ghosts? You got ghosts in the restaurants? Oh, 2 greens. And
2 greens and a purple. 3 greens and a blue up top. Hell yeah.
Aw,
3
yeah,
greens
we
down
got
the
more
bottom.
soda.
They got good taste.
You really like Sprite.
Yeah, I mean, is the green grape flavor, or is it just green
I
flavor?
like to think
What
it's-
flavor is green?
I like
Lime.
to think it's Coke, Sprite, and Pepsi, but
Oh, legit sports
Okay.
drink? Yeah, oh my god.
God, now I'm thinking about a Gatorade float and how weird that would taste.
I'm just thinking, we got a champagne, like, push-up, like popsicle you can buy here, and it just reminds me of summer.
this place is getting free.
Yeah, a little bit, but it'll be fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine. They said, their voice thick with uncertainty.
Yeah, true. Okay, so we could try to get some more metal tables going. Or I don't know what else we would even want. Okay, I guess we could just duplicate floor protectors.
Oh, the floor protection.
But like, I don't know, eventually we'll probably want robo buffies.
Yeah.
Let's just work on getting more metal tables so we can just
Right.
get the tables all filled out.
Yeah.
And we're
Let's
still
do
looking
it.
for blueprint cabinets on the desks today.
Just give me
Got
one
it.
second. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Do.
Messed up everyone's ready. Sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, okay, well that's not scary at all. Thank you for informing me about that. I need to talk with my boss about that.
Oh no.
That sentiment of, oh, that's not scary at all. That is how it's been every day
Sorry.
this week being an American. Or this, like,
Yeah.
month
Yeah,
being an American.
literally.
Well, it's just my work is being very much. We are dying very slowly, and we
Oh.
don't know when, but it will happen at some point. And I just gotta imagine we are having many different meetings tomorrow about the future of our firm, and you will get informed. Stay in tune. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's
Oh
scary.
Christ. That's not ideal.
2 blues, a green, and a... Yeah.
Blue one.
My last one was, and a yeah.
And a yeah.
I can't remember the word for red.
It's yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah.
What do you want, you weird kids? 2 greens and a purple. I don't know why, because of, like, Charlie Brown, whenever I see, like, those kind of hats, I just think children. Typically annoying children.
I'm just gonna slowly throw my purple hat up.
Oh, no,
my purple
I-
scarf.
Oh no, I've got a gray one of those hats, like, next to me that I just wore out in the rain. So, like, I still wear the hats, but I still think, like, child. Typically up to no good in their neighborhood.
Oh. 2 black and 2 green, please.
Part of that also might be South Park. Not something I actively
Yeah.
watch, but a lot of them do wear beanies.
It's true.
You guys can ring, by the way. I locked in a bunch of stuff.
Ring ring. 2 greens and a purple.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
We did it.
We did it. We
I knew
did
those
it.
kids were up to no good. They pushed me out of the way of the spot I was cleaning. Delinquents.
You.
Oh.
I think apple rings. Oh,
yeah.
chat's voting for
Don't-
sweeties.
Don't mind
Of
me.
course
Don't
they
mind me.
are.
Don't mind me. Don't mind me. I
Oh,
will go
no.
for the one that's chosen.
All right, chat. Exclamation point vote 1 for sweeties. Exclamation point vote 2 for apple ring.
I mean,
Oh
I
my
would have gone with apple
God.
rings, but I guess chat hate us today.
When do they like us?
Yeah, that's a good point.
My
I don't
chat's
know.
typically pretty
I've not
nice on my
played.
votes.
I've not played in like 2 weeks. I thought maybe chat had come around, but apparently not.
You were sorely mistaken, Spud.
Apparently, they're monsters. Monsters, I say.
To be fair, as a chat member, if the streamer said, don't do it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I think
So I
you're.
understand the reverse.
Yeah, I think you're with the most viewers there. All right. Well, you guys are gonna need this bin.
Oh
Yep.
God.
This is gonna suck.
We could probably leave it here, honestly.
I've never done whatever this is.
Sweeties, yeah. So, first off, we have to move up to bigger tables, which is fine. And we're gonna get a coffee table in here too. So let's move this up here.
Do we want to put the coffee table back here? In the back room?
We could, but for right now
This
it'll
is
fit
so
here.
complicated.
It's not that bad.
It doesn't even say how to make the candy though.
You just cook it, like cook the water and maple syrup, I think.
Oh, there we go. Add sugar, water, and syrup together and cook.
Yeah, there you go.
Finishing my lunch. Lunch is finished, chat.
Yes.
There we go.
Actually, I'm gonna put this
Now I'm gonna lock in.
here. Because we don't really need the two bobs.
Oh, do we want the prep station for anything?
We definitely want another one of these for later. We're gonna need them. Actually, we may as well just buy both of these. So then maybe we do set this up and put the... Well, but I'm worried about the patients. We should wait till we have another plant.
Okay.
Because I don't think this will reach... Yeah, it won't reach that table if we put it there. So let's just, yeah, turn these off for now. And then this will turn into metal. And then we're gonna want this probably like this. Yeah.
I understand the line. I think.
Cool. Alright, so if they order sweeties, they're gonna leave behind candy wrappers that you're gonna have to come throw out in this bin.
Can do. I am
Where's
happy
the
to be on trash duty.
Sugar. Or was it maple syrup and water?
No, it said
Hold on.
sugar.
Oh.
Yeah, it says sugar, which I guess comes in the form of maple syrup.
Yeah,
Maybe
I see it.
Sugar, water, and syrup.
It's right here.
Yeah, but where's the sugar?
Where's the sugar?
Oh, the sugar. I thought sugar came in a bag.
Oh, it's right here. It's right here. No wonder we can't
There
see
it is.
Oh.
I was like,
It
it
was
was
hiding.
Okay. Sort of put that here. Okay. And then that goes in here, and then we wrap it. Okay. I think we're good, except my cat is laying on my arm. Nova,
Hi, cat.
you're not in a great spot. Can you not be there right now? Can you go back to laying on the
Mama, I
bed?
must. No, I must.
Oh,
Mother, I
baby.
require pets.
Baby, go up here.
No,
That's a good
Mama, I
girl.
must
That's
be
a
here.
good girl. Oh gosh. I need to get one of those like monitor stand things, like the
Right.
arms.
Yeah.
So that my cats can't just like lay down and move my monitor. Cause that's what happens constantly. Oh goodness. Okay. I have relocated the cat.
Like how being a
Yeah,
streamer with
yeah.
cats, at least a good 25% of the stream is dedicated to moving said cat.
Yeah.
Oh, it has to cool.
Yes it does.
2 black, a green, and a purple. I don't know why I'm continuing to call them out when y'all very clearly have it.
It helps.
Okay. In that case, I will continue doing the thing.
I need a black.
Black,
one.
yes.
Oh, sorry. I thought that we needed purple, my bad.
There we go. I'll make this.
Ooh.
No, they want this, sir.
What do they want?
3
One
greens and a
city.
candy.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Getting ready to trash.
2
Oh
green.
no. Oh, that wasn't what I wanted. Okay, well, it's fine.
Well, I wanted to go all the way around for that one, apparently. Oh, okay.
I got confused.
Nobody wants the purple.
No purple.
Nope.
That's gonna get so bad.
3 candy and a red.
Someone wrap those candies.
I have lapped. Hey, we got 2 purples, 2 greens, and a black.
Green.
Green is last.
Green.
Oh, sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
Hey, you got it. You got it.
You got it.
Oh,
Oh, that
yeah.
was my bad.
Well, that was good. That was good teamwork there.
Hell yeah. 2 purples, a black, and a green.
Green. Purple. Black.
Are they gonna want dessert?
Are you gonna want any dessert, kids? They are.
Hey kids, do you want some candy?
Candy,
Ooh,
2
piece of
reds, and a
candy.
green. Ooh, piece of candy.
Ooh, a piece of candy.
Ooh, piece of candy. I'm glad to see we all have similar TikTok algorithms.
Oh, I'm just very old. It's
Ah!
more that.
Don't call us all old, Lex.
It's an old fucking season of freaking Family Guy, man. That's right.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, is that what that's
you're
from?
wrong.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's what's his face? It's freaking
James
it's
Woods.
James Woods.
Yeah.
I have
You
never
can't
actually.
resist candy.
I've never seen an episode of Family Guy.
I'm rewatching it at the moment because I'm old. I'm bored.
I think maybe
should
we
go ahead and-
Where do
use
you want
these
that for? For
for
boba?
boba? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oops.
yeah.
Cat on my mouth.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh god.
alright. Well, she really wants to play, apparently.
She heard us talking about the
Um,
Boba Cat Cafe, and she was excited.
Yeah, she did. Alright, we buy these 2 display stands, and you could display whatever boba Lex is putting in the frozen prep.
It's on brown, so it's gonna be no black. That's
So
black.
it's gonna be brown. Got it.
It's gonna be brown.
What about some
Do
nice
we want to
wood?
buy? Do we want to buy the brand mascot and the 2 indoor fountains?
Yeah, brand mascot for sure. That's a good buy. And then the
Doggy.
decreased mass is
Doggy!
nice.
His name
And
would
then we would get the bonus
I'm getting
patience. I think that's
One
worth.
second, I'm getting a phone call.
One more roll. One more roll. Plants.
Hi, I'm back.
plant. Two
Yeah,
plants. Even.
we're gonna discount them and buy them tomorrow.
Mhm.
Also, my favorite flooring.
I just
What
found
do you
out.
guys like, stone or wood?
The
I-
stone matches the
Um,
wallpaper, to be honest.
Yeah,
Makes
I
it a
prefer the stone. I
little-
think.
Mm-hmm.
We'll upgrade our crappy wood flooring in the back to a good wood flooring.
I found out I have a delivery coming,
Oh.
Um,
Fun.
Oh, cool.
What
It
did you
is.
order?
It's definitely at the wrong time. But it's okay. It's my
What
mother
are we-
bringing it, so she gets a pass. But
Oh.
since I
This
can't
time.
drive, it's
She gets a pass this time.
yeah.
That's fair.
She found out it was raining, and she's like, "Trip, you really need your umbrella." And I'm like, "Nah, it's fine." And she's like, "That's not. This isn't a maybe. This is. I'm bringing you an umbrella."
Aw.
Okay,
That's sweet.
3 purples,
Sorry.
a green, and a black. I'm holding the black already.
Yep, yep.
It's alright, I've put both on the display stand now, so hopefully,
And a green.
Yep.
A green. No, not another cup. There we go.
Boom. All black.
there it is.
Perfect.
The system works.
Did they like buff the? I remember the display stands used to be like iffy.
It's always a percentage chance, so it's
Yeah.
like sometimes it hits all of them and sometimes it hits hardly any of them.
Desserts. 4 candies and a blue.
We could do that. You gotta wrap them up.
Ah! I got stuck in mess.
Boba!
Boba!
Boba.
I'm ready to trash patrol.
And a
I need
purple.
1 purple because
Yep.
apparently someone didn't get the memo.
They didn't think it was colorful enough. Black is not a color. Come on.
Black isn't a flavor.
Put it in. Thank you.
2 green, a blue, and a candy.
Yep. Oh.
You're doing great back there.
Thank you.
We're all so proud. Ah. 1 purple, please.
I don't know why I did that.
And here we go.
Serve the display stand once.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
Or put the one display stand one back in the thingy.
Like
There
that.
you go. Yeah.
Dessert time. 3 candies, a blue, and a green.
That's a red and a green.
Oh, sorry. Yep, you're right.
All good.
And I'm not even that kind of colorblind.
Are you sure?
Yeah, actually. I'm just normal blind.
I'm just
Oh,
normal.
okay. I don't know if that's better or worse.
Oh, definitely worse.
Oh, okay, good.
Alright, in between this round, I gotta roll on down to get this delivery.
Ooh,
Yeah,
open
no worries.
cabinets.
I'll be back. Chat, be nice to them while I'm gone. I'm back.
Welcome back.
Yay!
Did you kick the
We
door
can
in?
take
You
the
kicked the
ones
door in,
off the
didn't you?
display stand
I
and
can't
put 'em
kick.
back.
I'm in a wheelchair. But no, someone let me back in.
My bad.
I still
It's
believe.
okay.
Forgot.
I still believe you could do it.
Oh, I could.
Yeah.
Yeah, just ram right into it, you know?
Oh, that's weird. I'm here, but I can't interact with anything.
Oh,
I'm a ghost.
very interesting.
But I can get in people's way.
Push them out. Get them
Oh,
out of
that'll
the
help.
restaurant.
I'm a poltergeist. I told you I should have called the Ghostbusters.
Bust yourself?
That's an interesting question. If you had to come back to life after death, but only as a ghost, would you?
How much can I interact with things?
We'll say general poltergeist rules.
Then yes, I would, because I would start haunting celebrity people.
Do I have the choice to leave again when I want?
No, ghosts
So you
can't
stay
leave
there
without
forever?
help.
No. I
What's
would
my
not want to live
unfinished?
forever.
What's my unfinished business?
I guess in this case, since you're choosing to be a ghost, you wouldn't have unfinished business, so you'd have to wait for someone to release you.
Oh, okay. So I just be an
Hi,
angry ghost. I
Zombie.
mean, yeah, no, I'm with Lex.
I just want
Go
to know what
full on-
celebrity people do. Like I know they do
I
normal
totally
shit.
agree. I would also go with what you're going for. But continue.
There are
please.
Yeah,
just
I mean-
some celebrities you just want to see. Okay, do you do like what I do when I'm home, or do you do like fancy rich people stuff?
Yeah, like You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go and haunt like Scarlett Johansson's bathroom, not in a weird way, but in the way that when they're in the shower or something, you just start writing messages on the mirror just to see how
Oh,
they
to freak them out.
Yeah.
Butt prints in the steamed up.
And let's be honest, you're gonna be removing toilet paper, right? You're gonna be
Oh,
hiding the
absolutely.
toilet paper, so
Oh,
they go
yeah.
to sit down, and then what do? Do celebrities have a guy that just comes in and provides them emergency TP? What
I,
you know?
I would be very interested to see how many celebrities just have a number on their phone for hauntings. It's like, fuck, I gotta call my paranormal.
Here we go again.
Ah, crap. All right, fine. I guess I'm going to John Travolta's house now.
Zadi says, I wonder if they go to Denny's. Could you imagine just being the poltergeist that haunts the Denny's?
Oh my god. That'd be incredible.
Which one is the place where everyone fights at like 3 a.m.?
Oh, Waffle House.
Waffle House.
Oh
Dude.
yeah, no, I'm going there.
Like,
That's
I'm not
all the
even
crazy
American,
shit you
but
can get
yeah, it's
involved in.
Waffle House.
You could. Okay, I have a Waffle House story if you want to hear.
Heck yeah.
I don't know what do you want me to vote for this, by the way?
I am a fan of pumpkin pie.
We
Alright.
go.
I'm
pumpkin
thinking
pie, then.
pumpkin pie just because making bread is gonna be an ass.
Probably so much trash though.
I distinctly remember my first time at Waffle House. I was 13 years old. I had just come back from the gun range with my cousin. America things.
America.
Literally.
And-
Story is already off to an amazing start.
We were sitting down. For some reason, there's like a bar counter at a lot of Waffle Houses. It's basically like you can watch them make the food in front of you. Like, what's that fancy kind of restaurant called?
Subway?
Where they like
No,
make the sushi and
hibachi.
stuff. Hibachi, thank you. It's like breakfast hibachi. And we were talking to the person who was making our food, and they asked me, "Oh, how much butter do you want with your butter and syrup? Do you want with your waffle?" I said, "None. I like my waffles plain." And the look of ire my 13-year-old self received from this grown-ass woman working at Waffle House before she reaches into the little box where they keep the syrup packets and starts throwing them at me.
What?
I swear on my remaining heart, this is real. This actually happened.
What?
She started throwing syrup packets at me while the whole restaurant, my cousin included, fucking died of laughter.
That's crazy.
She threw like 5 at my face before I started laughing too, and then she stopped.
I love it. I love
She
it.
likes you. Average female Way to show affection.
I was 13!
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's amazing. I love that.
Oh,
That is
Jesus.
just fantastic.
Also, it was Virginia, so that a lot of Waffle Houses around here are that kind of unhinged energy exists, and it's kind of great.
Yeah, did you
think
use
this
the
is
syrup
how
packets in the
it
end?
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh, because they fell on the floor and you don't want that.
Also, like 3 out of 5 successfully hit me in the face, and I don't know where they ended up. They bounced off and
Oh,
were
okay.
elsewhere. I don't know. My cousin caught one and used it for his waffle.
Fucking love it.
I lost my eye patch via reincarnation.
Via reincarnation.
Should have asked for more syrup.
Oh, that would have been good. You're right. You're right.
Bam. Could I get some more syrup, please?
So yeah, to this day, every time I've gone to Waffle House, I've never asked for like any of the things that come in packets. Just in case I get someone like her who decides food fight.
Yeah, someone who chooses violence. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
But it did solidify in my head like a weird positive association with Waffle House. Because where else is that going to happen than a Waffle House?
Yeah.
True.
I'll let you do that while I start this.
All good.
4
Roadhouse,
greens in a
honestly.
black. Are we green maxing this time? For the displays?
What do you?
I'll
everything.
put black down on the displays just because.
I'm about to empty the greens.
Oh, I need boba.
Oh, coming. Oh, I can't do it that way. I
Ooh,
forgot.
dessert incoming. 3 candies, a pumpkin pie, and a red... whatever they are. They remind me of slushes from Sonic, visually.
They're a float, but yeah, visually I get that. Alright, we need more candies. There we go.
Oh god. 4 black, which we've got a purple... Yeah, we got these.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Here
we
we go.
got him.
I still remember the year that happened with Bin Laden. I had someone at school who dressed up as a zombie Bin Laden.
Oh god.
Yes.
Got in
I
so
love
much
that.
trouble. But
I bet.
God.
We need 3 pumpkin pies. I'm sorry.
yeah.
3!
Yeah, it's what the people want. 3 pumpkin pies, 2 red and 1 blue.
Alright, well, I'm working on it, but it's gonna take me a minute, so don't start serving any yet.
Oh, I'm gonna start.
Someone take the garbage out for me. Pretty please.
You do have to start serving bottom need.
Yeah. Just
Oh,
put it
get
on
that
the
bin.
table,
Lock
Trip.
in that bin. Oh, I got it. Hopefully.
I'm
there
trying
we
to get
go.
to the bit, I'm sorry.
No,
Let
no,
me
it's all
out.
good. It's all good.
Oh, I teleported. There we go.
Alright, this pumpkin pie is almost ready. That's all 3, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm buying you as much time as I can.
You're doing great.
Oh, hey Maya. Yeah, do exclamation mark visit, guys. Come and get your boba.
Good job, guys.
Yes, come to the double drink den.
Oh, I need boba.
Oh, we also serve
It's
pumpkin
coming.
pie and candy.
We have so many things now.
Oh, a piece of candy.
Ooh, piece of
Gotcha,
candy.
there you go.
Ooh, piece of candy.
How did the Phasmo go, Maya? How many times did you get killed?
Alright, wait a minute to take. Oh, never
Oh,
mind.
sorry. Blue,
No, it's
2
okay.
candy, 2 pumpkin pie.
Alright, I'm gonna bring you guys one of these candies.
Sorry, I'm so used to going super speed mode like we've
I
done
know.
prior to...
It's fine. I just gotta make one more pumpkin pie.
So, how you doing? How's your week?
Well, let me get you more boba
Random
here.
people.
Fix
A
you.
beautiful day for pie.
Yep.
Don't worry. Oh, I need milk in that.
I'm not a blue shade.
I was gonna say, I could run in and make the blue.
There we go. Yay! You
Here
could
we
drink a
go.
pumpkin pie. Don't worry, we will make mix it.
Zani, Dairy Queen does pumpkin pie blizzards
Mhm.
around the fall time, and it's basically like drinking a cold pumpkin pie.
I was just about to talk about that after I
Yeah.
finished my water.
See,
No,
I have an
Zani,
issue.
This fall, Zani, I'll DoorDash you one.
See, I got an issue with seasonal drinks in like restaurants and stuff.
Right.
Spill your tea.
Well, I mean, why can't we just let people enjoy things year round? You know,
That
like
because
Well,
then it
seasonal
won't be special.
ingredients also.
yeah, but I mean, a lot of the time though, some of the stuff
I
isn't
gotta
an
ask though.
ingredient. It's like a syrup, you know, that's being produced year round.
Yeah, I was gonna say
True.
because a lot of those so-called like pumpkin spice and stuff like that, they have that all year round.
Oh yeah, no, pumpkin
That's
spice
not
is
season
definitely
like that's
not
not
one of those.
seasonal. So I don't.
Exactly.
So I don't. I will agree. I don't get that. It's the same thing here. We do a lot of things around Christmas time, so it's all those like Christmas-y like ginger and like vanilla
Yeah.
and stuff like that here and stuff like that. And then they're like, "Well, you were never gonna see them again. You have to wait another year for that." And like, why? Why can't we're never allowed to enjoy Christmas outside of Christmas? Okay, fine.
For
sure.
me, that's
See?
peppermint because, like, we'll have lots of like, by us we have a place called Cookout with the best milkshakes, and they only have peppermint milkshakes December and January, and I'm like, yo, this is your best milkshake. Why do you only have it 2 months of the year when
Yeah.
peppermint is a very prevalent ingredient?
I'm thinking maybe we buy this so I can upgrade.
That might be why they do it, Shanae, to like indicate now you know it's fall, so you don't need to look at the calendar anymore.
And then
Yeah,
it.
I think it's also the you know, the whole line must go up thing. You know,
Right.
if you can only get it at a certain time of the year, you're gonna
Yeah,
come
yeah,
in
yeah.
during the fall to get it.
Yeah, it's like
Like, no,
McRibs.
dude. I would drink it way more often if I could drink it year round.
It's okay. Okay. Oh, the cat
So
is
we
still
gotta
not a
float in that one, or do we want candy in this?
Put her down.
We can do one color float in this if needed.
I was thinking the
or-
pumpkin pies,
Yeah,
honestly,
I
because
think
they're way
pumpkin
more
pies.
annoying to
Yeah,
make.
yeah. The pies. Good idea. Good idea. I forgot about that one.
Well, right now our Wendy's serve Thin Mint Frosties, which I really want one because I fucking love Thin Mints.
We don't even have a Wendy's.
You're not missing
That doesn't
much,
help me.
admittedly.
I still am a little bit sad that I didn't get to try a Wendy's when I went visiting a friend in the US. But I tried so many other things. By the
Yeah.
way, American McDonald's, you a shit. I'm sorry.
Oh,
You
yeah,
are.
McDonald's is. I don't even eat McDonald's anymore.
I mean, British
Oh.
McDonald's still ain't great.
I like McDonald's breakfast. I don't think I like much else that they have.
I'm a sucker for their fries, sadly.
Yeah.
I mean, the fries are good when they're fresh, but they're just so, like, it's always a crapshoot whether they're gonna be good or not.
Right, true.
I
That's
am
my
a-
problem.
Another seasonal thing I adore is Shamrock Shakes.
Oh, yeah, those are good.
We need 2 purples, please.
I need more boba.
More boba.
I'm cooking it, hold on. Gotta
I'm
get
just
the candy over
battering
here
people out of the
before it-
way.
It has been painted since the 1990s. What is it? Just like have flakes in your food now?
Hey, Monk.
Just like
Purple.
extra. Purple, sorry.
Purple, purple, purple.
Sorry. Crusted like
Ooh.
pink flakes in your food. No,
2
while you eat it.
pies, a candy, 2 greens, and a red. Hey, Monk, I'm playing some modded Play-Doh with some pals.
Yeah, the extra lead. Get that extra mineral in your food.
Mmm. Lead.
Lead.
That's why they come back. It's for the lead.
Need the
Yep.
the floats.
Floats.
Oh,
And,
floats.
and a candy.
No. Yeah, red. Okay.
Candy. Yeah, whoops.
Red, green,
And the wrapper.
green.
Fuck.
Good.
Boom. Hell yeah. We definitely need an easier way of accessing the purple boba.
I put that seed on your boba machine because I flailed when the garbage was full. Sorry.
Alright.
I was like, why is it working? What's happening?
Can we wait to take their order so I can make a couple more pumpkin pies?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you dropping by.
Oh yeah. Let's make some of that.
All right, 2 greens, 2 pies, and a candy, but I'll maybe worth making extra pumpkin pies to save.
That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah.
Overcooked is so stressful, and this game is stressful.
I've
I can't
never played
handle
Overcooked.
It is
Overcooked
more
is
running around.
way more stressful than Played Up. Because in Played Up, you're supposed to lose at a certain point. And Overcooked, like, you have to be so perfect. It's tough times.
Whoop.
I feel like Overcooked is Played Up's hateful cousin.
Because the
Overcooked
map
is definitely,
map
like, the reason I think Played Up is as popular as it is.
I would agree.
Overcooked was also popular, but it's funny because Overcooked wasn't even one of the like main inspirations for Played Up. It was what's that train game?
Derailed?
Yeah, that was the main inspiration for Played Up.
Oh.
I really enjoyed Derailed. It was a lot of fun.
I've never played it.
It was good. It was in the collection a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I do have it. I got it for free at some point from something, but I've just never played it.
Alright, what do we got? Composter bin. Not the one I want.
Get out of here.
Another one of these for candy.
Nice, refreshing water.
Jesus, oh my god. You're no longer holding a cat, Maya. Good. And Phasma was a pain. Oh no. Oh, you were doing your challenges, I take it?
We should put one of these in this room.
Good call.
Oh no.
I'll just take one of these.
See, I really wanted to enjoy Phasmophobia, but I just feel like that there's not enough in that game to make me keep playing it.
See, I feel the same ways, but for me, I'm very bad at co-op scary games because co-op for me makes things less scary. And that's the thing about Phasmo. I want it to be scary, but I can't when I got 3 people who are laughing and joking around.
Yeah.
Which is all good. Which is all fine.
That's why I love games like Lethal Company. Where, like, yeah, it's got scary aspects, but you're meant to be silly and have fun alongside those scary aspects.
Funny thing about that, I recently tried out the new Repo, which is basically a Lethal Company, but funny. It's very funny. It is so funny, and I can't wait to play more of that. It's like better Lethal Company, if you ask me.
I've been waiting to buy it until I had people to try it with.
Like, me too. I was lucky I got some friends who were like, yeah, we want to try it with you.
A grabber would be... Would it be a grabber?
For, like, the boba when it's done? Yeah, it should be a grabber, because it will grab the pot when it's cooked. You just set it up to the right, function.
Yeah, I think a combiner might be what I'm looking for, to combine the one pot into the other pot. So I don't have to make it as often.
One of the things I love about playing Played Up with y'all is I don't have to, like, think about, like, the setup. Because y'all have hundreds of hours in this. And I can just kind of, like, stand in a corner and either eat or drink or talk to chat. It's great.
That's true. I really only do the thinking when I play with you guys. Most of the time I prefer to not do the thinking too.
Well, I appreciate you giving me a brain vacation.
No problem.
That was a weird way to word it, but I'm stuck with it now.
Sugar, syrup, and
water.
And water, there we go.
Actually, before they order, I'm gonna do the that.
And that helped. Jesus.
Hell yeah.
I need to think of
Love manipulating our consumers. I mean, what?
Spoken like a true capitalist.
Hey, I'd rather have this display stand than a freaking like the restaurant owner coming. Hey, have you noticed we got a new dish? Do you like this new dish? Have you seen this new dish? I need boba.
Yeah, right.
Boba.
Boba. Also, 3 red, a blue, and a green for the milkshakes.
Floats.
For the floats.
A green.
Alright, I'm done being a nerd.
No, you're not. You're always a nerd, and that's why you're wonderful.
Yeah, this is true.
Three reds. No, 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 no. Work with me, please. And a blue. There you go.
Nice. Alright.
Nailed it. Oh my god, more people? No, guys, no, stop it.
Stop it. No, don't
Stop
give us
it.
money. All purple in a... What? All purple and 1 black when we have double black.
Wait.
Oh.
Wait. What? It gets a. Okay, that is confusing.
Oh, sorry, I was too fast there. Sorry, I may or may not have picked up a bowl. Wow. Never mind.
You want to
Words.
try that again?
Nope, I'm good.
What's happening?
Can I get 1 blue floaty, please?
I put milk in this. pot.
You did. You did, I see.
Don't question that, please.
Oh, I'm gonna
1
question
blue
it.
floats. There you go.
It was
Thank
definitely
you.
milk.
You guys can refill the.
I heard that.
too.
Why did I make a green one? Damn it.
Because green's a wonderful color.
Yes. I will actually agree. And purple.
We did it.
We did it.
We did it! Yay!
Victory!
We franchise.
What time is it? Okay, I can do one more day then. Awesome.
Julio.
2
I
points
mean,
per
metal
consumer.
table's great.
Metal table is great.
Yeah. Side orders? Gross.
Okay.
I'm just kind of T-posing in the doorway. Gonna hydrate so I don't dehydrate.
Expanded then.
Oh, do we want that, this here? For at least, like 2 of the floats?
Well, the thing is, we need a place to pass them stuff.
Oh,
So
right.
we probably want to scoot you down, but since you can't stay that much longer, I just want to keep going.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
we
No.
can
No
rearrange
worries.
a little bit
Yeah,
later.
yep.
Yeah.
Yep, yep.
We'll
Yep,
get
yep,
it
yep, yep.
straightened out for next time. A freezer.
Do we want this ceiling light on dupe?
Well, we only need 3 more points.
Yeah.
Storm
Could.
is arriving here, so I don't know how much longer I'll be able to stream. I don't know if you can hear that.
No, but
I just had
Well,
like
to
a
be fair-
foreboding
oh
thunder.
gosh. I'm just gonna
We're
put
actually
those
supposed to
back
get a
there,
tornado
and then we can do this.
later.
I know,
Fun.
I got a couple of friends out in Oz who are bracing for the cyclone.
Yep.
Oh, we need to do this. There we go. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good for 1 more day.
Yeah.
One
we're
more
doing one more
day.
day.
Yeah, and then we'll
One
call
more
it.
day.
I'll
one more
rearrange a
day.
little bit for next time, and we'll save it for next time.
Yee. Especially now that I can, you know, continue doing Wednesdays, which is great.
Yay!
Missed the plate-upness.
Wait, today's Wednesday?
Yeah. I get to play tomorrow too, because me and Tootie rescheduled from last week, so.
I might be able to join y'all tomorrow as well if you want an
heck
extra.
yeah. Always. Everyone is always welcome.
My new
The more the merrier.
life schedule's great. A red and a blue float, please.
Red and a blue float. Got it.
And we are low on pumpkin pies due to this order.
And the red one.
I gotta get you more
I need
bobas.
boba.
Bobas.
Booba. Booba?
Booba?
Not quite.
I mean, it's understandable, but I don't know if we can provide that.
I don't think we serve that here, but
Not that kind of
yeah.
cafe.
Aw.
Yeah.
No Hooters? Damn it.
The Hooters is closing, actually.
Are they
Oh,
really?
it is?
Yeah, Hooters is, I think they recently declared bankruptcy.
Oh
That's so
no.
funny.
Or, like, in the
Yeah,
process
I
of shutting
saw
down.
that going into bankruptcy, yeah.
Part of me is considering going to a Hooters before they're gone so I can say I went to one. Even though I'm, like, you know,
I don't
blind and
think
it doesn't
I've ever
matter.
been to one either.
Apparently their boneless wings are incredible.
I've heard they have decent food. I've just,
Oh, yeah.
never
I
been
heard
there.
like same. I heard like the food is like it's actually not bad.
I know someone who used to be a cook at Hooters. He hated the job, but he also was... He hated everything, so it's not really a reliable source of information there.
There.
Bro could be having, like, the best day of his life and be like, the weather's a bit hot.
There's always something to complain about.
Yes. Big time protagonist pessimist
Right.
kind of vibes.
We need one red floaty, please.
Yes.
Alright, refill these candies for me.
I just want to do some repo promise. It was fun. And I want to see the other react to the freaking models in it.
What was the other one? There was a video on the main channel that came out, where they're journalists covering the apocalypse.
Backlash?
What's it called? Good content, I think it's called.
Something like that. I really enjoyed that video. I thought that was so dumb. That game.
Headliners.
Was so much
Headliners,
That's the
there we go.
one.
Thank
Thank
you.
That's one
Promise.
I'd be very interested in trying.
fun. We need 2 red floaties and a green, please.
I can't remember if I mentioned this to y'all, but I've recently learned how to run Blood on the Clock Tower.
I gotta make more
Alright.
candy.
So I'm considering trying to run a Blood on the Clock Tower for
Boba.
the Discord.
Do it.
I'm too dumb for that.
Need some red floaties, please.
Yeah, I'm getting the candy, sorry.
I don't know if I'm a good liar for that. No, wait, I already.
I am a very... I've... Thanks to Monica reawakening my Among Us arc all those months ago,
Yeah.
gotten good at the whole lying thing.
Here,
What is
help with
this?
the...
Oh,
candies.
somebody wants ice cream. I got 2 vanilla scoops.
Perfect. Yeah, I accidentally made that.
Oh, my ice cream! No!
We are
Give me
not an
my-
ice cream place.
My ice cream!
We are not an ice cream place. How dare you?
My vanilla!
Oh my
I'm
God.
leaving!
Yeah, we
This is not
know.
leaving! No, my vanilla! Thank you guys so much.
Of course.
Always a pleasure.
It was
Yeah,
great
if you guys
playing with you
continue,
guys.
good luck, good luck, good luck.
Thank
and I see you
you.
guys next time. Take care!
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye!
Take it easy, Lex.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna disappear too. I gotta run to the shop and then finish doing the bins and stuff because it's
Yeah.
trash day tomorrow.
Yeah.
No worries. This is a good place to call it.
Garbage.
And
It
like I
is.
said, we'll pick it up next time.
See, now I gotta decide, do I want to... I had my AFK up that whole time after I came back.
Oh no.
It's okay. It's just a little...
happens,
It's a little
yeah.
transparent text bar. See, now I gotta decide, do I want to keep streaming? Or, even though there's a storm going on outside and I risk the stream dropping at any random point, I'm gonna elect
Oh.
no. I'm gonna be safe and I'm gonna stop streaming.
There
So-
you go.
Am I
Smart.
hitting save and return to HQ, or am I hitting abandon?
You want to go into online play and disconnect.
That's the button.
That's
See?
the button. It's in a weird
That's the
spot.
button.
The button.
I just closed the game.
That works too. That also does the trick.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I'll do it.
I'm just gonna rearrange us a little bit for next time, and then we'll be ready to
sounds
go.
good. I'm looking
Yeah.
for someone to raid into.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for hanging out, guys.
Of course, of
I
course.
am
Thank
gonna
you.
I'm gonna run away.
Sounds
Have a
good.
good
Have a
one.
good day. Bye.
Yeah, catch you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh god, I can hear the rain against the window. Yeah, no, I'm not streaming anymore tonight. If I can hear my window shaking, that's a get out of Dodge. Yeah, I agree. It was really fun today. It was really fun today. I'm glad it's back. Where are we going? We could do... Let's see. A caveman is actually playing Repo, which we were just talking about. Might raid into our new friend Say Less from... You know what? Yeah, let's raid into Say Less, because I was just talking with Say Less last night. And they're the one who we did the Rare Disease Day thing with. So let's head up Say Less. See you later. Wait. We are unable to raid at this time. Why? You want to try that again, Twitch? You want to try that again for me? Say less. Also, they're playing Hello Kitty Island, so I'm very interested in how that is, to be honest. What do you mean we are unable to raid at this time? Oh, they don't... Oh, they have raids off. Let me just poke a little message in her chat.
She made extra pumpkin pies for me, dude. Y'all, pumpkin pie or apple pie? Okay.
I'll just tell her later I couldn't raid her. We'll raid somebody else. Just because I gotta go. Because the weather is worrying. Let's raid into... Oh, you know what? It's Mav's stream anniversary. Let's raid into Mav from the Among Us group. Tell him we said hello. Boop.